So Mexico deported my mom. Yep, that happened. Deported is the wrong word. Mexico denied my mom entry. She turned up at the Cancun airport. They said, nope, spin around, go back home, denied. Let's talk about it now. I obviously had to wait a few days to do this video because, a couple days ago, if you told me the sky is blue, I would have either broke down in all kind of tears, or I would have been really angry, just really, really angry. So I had to take a few days to kind of process, figure out what I was doing. Well, I knew immediately what I was doing and the plans are already in place, but just kind of process everything and have some time, some words with myself and this stage of life that we're in now, and just kind of, process. So what happened? Today is Thursday. I've been saying on this channel for a little while now that my mom is coming back to stay here with me in Mexico for a little while until we kind of figure out what we want to do. And I was so looking forward to that. I really and truly was looking forward to having back my mom here so that I could help her out and she could help me out, because my mom has had a really, really rough life, like a really, really rough life in general. But this past year specifically, because if you recall, she came to Mexico with me originally, and then I lost my main source of income and could no longer sustain all four of us that were living under the same roof. So my parents went back to Jamaica, and her time in Jamaica was very rough, because when she packed up to come on this journey with me, she left behind wherever she was living and whatever, all of that. So she didn't have, when she went back, she didn't have a home to go live in. She had to stay with friends, and it was just a mess this past year for her. So I was just like, Mom, it's fine. Come back to Mexico. We'll figure it out. I'm not making the money that I used to make, but we'll figure it out, because I'm a mother that we always gotta figure it out, and my mother is a fighter. She gotta figure it out too. So the two of us together would have been, I thought, it would have worked out. So I said to her, I kind of settle off away right now, come back to Mexico, let's do the thing here. But if you've been following this channel for a little while, you also know that ever since I lost my main source of income, I've been kind of wondering if my Mexico run is done and it's time for me to pack up and move on as well. I came to Mexico for one thing, and I feel like that it's run its course, and I wasn't happy anyway, because I realized that I came here and I was stuck. I found myself stuck in the same routines that I had in Jamaica, and that's not what I came here for at all. I didn't want to just pack up my life in Jamaica and move it exactly as is to Mexico. That was not supposed to be the what I was doing at all. So for me, my run in Mexico kind of was at an end. And I kept kind of delaying, because I kept saying that I uprooted my baby girl. She came here with us. She loves it here. She's actually, really happy here. I didn't want to uproot her again. So I said I would stay until she finishes school. But this happened. So what happened? So on Saturday, my mom took the bus to the airport in Jamaica. At the airport, happy, joy, coming back to Mexico. Now, let me just tell the story first as is, and then I will say where the breakdowns happen, because I'm not putting all of this on any person. There were a lot of breakdowns along the way. So she left Jamaica. Her flight stopped overnight in the DR, because that's the route that her flight took. So she's overnight in DR, staying in the airport. Gets to Cancun at like 9 a.m. the next morning. Calls me, says she needs an invite letter. I said, what? Why would you need an invitation letter? that was so bizarre to me. And then she says that there's an issue with the return ticket that I booked for her to go back home. So let's address two things separately. The invite letters, as Jamaicans, we know what an invite letter is. You know, you go in a foreign and if you're not staying at a hotel or some other accommodation that you've booked and paid for, you have to show and prove, I guess, where you'll be staying. And so whoever invited you to Big Foreign usually writes a letter to say that, yeah man, I will take care of you while you're here. I did not know that Mexico would have ever needed that as well, because we've all been here before. I now live here, my mom's been here before. This was never a thing. I've said it to some of my friends who live here and they're like, what is that? You know, they don't even know what I'm talking about. But as a Jamaican, I know what an invite letter is. So in my panic now, I'm quickly scrambling to write her this invite letter, not even thinking that I should actually properly write this in Spanish, so that whatever. So I write the letter, I put my residency card on it, and I take the picture and I send it to her. They say that there's a problem with her return ticket. I don't even want to get into the specifics of the return ticket, but I will say that when I travel back and forth to Cancun, the very first time that all four of us landed in Cancun is the only time that they've ever asked me for a return ticket. After that, I've been in and out of Cancun at least a half a dozen times since then. Nobody now asked me no question. So it slipped me to make sure that, you know, she had all her T's crossed and her I's dotted, because I had just grown so accustomed to breezing through Cancun and nobody really asked me no question. Why are you here? Vacation? All right, cool, boom, boom, boom. They're not even checking no documents when I pass through Cancun. But when I think about it, I realize that I have been operating from a place of visa privilege. That's really and truly what it is. Because when the immigration officers open my passport, my Jamaican passport, and see that I have a US visa, they say, oh, she's not coming here to try and jump the border. She already has paperwork, so she could go to the US if she wants. So she's legit just coming to Mexico. Fine. We ain't questioning her no more. You're good to go. My mom does not have a US visa. So unfortunately, Jamaica is one of those countries that have now started to flock to Mexico to try and get across the border. So they're scrutinizing every single person who comes off a flight who has a Jamaican passport. I'm not saying Jamaican alone. We are one of the countries that has started to come to Mexico in an effort to try and cross the US border. So all of that come together, they decided to deny her entry. Because by the time I write the letter, book her a ticket back, do all the things, they have already case closed. That's it, can't help you. So I contacted the Jamaican embassy here to try and help me navigate this situation. Very kind lady. She was up with me up until almost midnight the night, trying to reason with the immigration officers, showing them my documents and saying that I'm legit, it's my mom, I'm gonna take care of her while she's here. Them not taking a chat. Case closed, decision final, we're sending her back. While I was trying to get all the paperwork together for her, she had her phone. When they decided that they were gonna send her back, they took her phone. So from that part of the story onwards, you're gonna have to check out my mom's video, because she did detail it from her side of things. So make sure you go check that video out. I'm gonna link it in the description box here. But they took her phone. She landed in Cancun Sunday morning at 9 a.m. They took her phone at 5 p.m. and said, that's it. We're sending you back. So from Sunday 5 p.m., I have no communication channels with her. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's comfortable. I don't know if she's cold in this dark airport room detention center. I don't know what's going on. So the Jamaican embassy lady, they tell me what flight. She's able to get the flight information. She says it's this flight. I look up the flight information. They're sending her back on a flight the next day. So this is now Monday. Her flight's supposed to leave Cancun at like 4:30 p.m. So she will be in Cancun airport detained, no phone, no nothing, from Sunday overnight to Monday 4:30 p.m. And there's a storm currently brewing, or was brewing, to hit Jamaica. So I know that when she lands, because it's good, they're gonna send her back on the same flight. So she's gonna land back in Dominican Republic again and have to overnight in Dominican Republic again Monday and not get till Jamaica till Tuesday, whatever time. And Tuesday is when the storm is hitting. I'm telling you, like, I can't tell you the emotions that I went through, and I know me experience it. I cannot tell you the emotions that I went through. And when I finally spoke to her and she said how they treated her, especially at the Mexican part of things, because they treat you like you're a criminal, And you have to go and watch her video for her breakdown of, whatever happened. But they are treating you like a criminal when they decide that they're going to send you back. And me just thinking about that, it was too much for me to manage. It was too much for me to handle that. My poor mother, who I just said to you has a very hard life, is currently going through this, and for what? And for what? And I'm saying that I will take some of the blame that she didn't have all the T's crossed and her I's dotted. She should have all. The immigration officer said the only reason we're sending her back is because she didn't have her paperwork to present initially when she just approached the desk, because I got all the paperwork together to say here. I'm a legit person. She's coming to me. It's too late. That's what they said. It's too late, because I didn't know that she would have needed an invite letter. I legit did not know that she would need an invitation letter to come and stay with me here. And by the time I get it together, too late. Then I don't want to hear no talk anymore. So this is a message to Jamaicans. If you are planning to come to Mexico for any reason at all, you have to make sure you have your paperwork properly in order before you come. Because, and my mom will share in her video, that on that flight that landed in Cancun, there were 30 Jamaicans. And guess what? 22 of them were sent back. 22 Jamaicans were on that flight that were sent back. So that whole immigration thing, that is a conversation for another video, another time, probably another platform, because that's not the conversation that I'm trying to have. I'm just saying that that's what happened with my mama. And that's the reason why I'm leaving Mexico. Yeah, I no longer feel, it was already time. I told you, this is just the straw that broke this camel's back. I was already hemming and hawing. Is it time to go? What's my next move? What's next for me? I'm not going to stay in a country that would comfortably send my mom back like that and treat her with such disrespect, disregard, just subhuman treatment. It's time to go. It's time to go. I've already almost sold off everything. Like, this is probably the last video you see with me at this desk and in this chair, because somebody has already claimed the chair and the desk. Somebody's coming for my bed today. I'm out of here. I'm gone. It's time to move on. No way no better than your yard. So I will be going back to Jamaica, because I had already decided, this journey had already shown me that I don't want to ever live permanently in another country. I don't want to live somewhere where they can send me back for whatever reason. I want to live in my sweet, sweet Jamaica and travel as much as I please, as much as I can, as much as I can afford to, as much as I desire. I still have the travel bug. I still want to travel, but I don't want to live anywhere else, and I don't want to digital nomad. I want to have my nice home with my nice things and travel for 3 weeks and go back on my yard. That's what I'm on right now. Let me tell you the story of what happened when all 4 of us initially landed in Cancun. And just to reiterate to Jamaicans how on point you really and truly need to be when you're traveling, because traveling on a Jamaican passport is not the easiest thing at all. You have to go above and beyond, because they're looking at us like you come in here to cause mischief. And the good have to suffer for the bad, because the bad is out there. I'm not trying to deny that. When all four of us came to Cancun, we had to take the scenic route, because again, I said my parents at the time, now both of my parents have been to the US before, both of them had US visas, but it's been some time since both of them had been able to travel due to sickness and jobs and whatever. So their US visas expired and they didn't have any reason to go back and get it renewed, COVID and all of that. So both of them, no US visa at this present time. So when we left Jamaica, we went to Panama first. We ended up in Colombia just because the tickets were cheap, and I was like, ooh, let's go check out Colombia. And then we came to Cancun. You can go back and watch those videos, because those videos are on my channel. In Panama and in Colombia, I had very bad Airbnb experiences in both countries with 2 hosts. So when I landed in Cancun, my Airbnb was booked for 3 nights. 3 nights. I wasn't doing the long Airbnb stretch. I was like, I'm gonna go check it out first, and if I like it, we'll extend. But I boldly set out my mouth to the Cancun immigration agent that we are staying for 6 months. And they were like, X, what you mean? This not match up. This not add up at all. What you mean? So, because I had been doing all my research into, the Merida expat groups here on Facebook and asking all the questions, and I wanted to try and make sure that we got our 6-month stamp in our passport to say that we can stay 6 months. And they say, ask for it. If you want to stay 6 months, ask for it and they'll give it to you. But thankfully, my mom was conversational in Spanish enough where she was able to explain to the immigration agents that the only reason we're only booked for 3 days is because we've had bad Airbnb experiences in the past. We are booked for 3 days. If we like it, we'll extend our stay. If not, we'll find another Airbnb. And I guess when they looked at my poor father, who was very frail at the time, and the traveling had taken a toll on him, they were like, all right. And then, as I said, I had already had my US visa. You can see because the immigration agent, she called over somebody else and they were talking about it and trying to figure out if they should let us through. Because maybe she'll say, me I try to get my parents and move at the border. I don't know what she'll think in her mind, but probably when she looked at me like a frail old father, she said, no, sir. They've got it away. Make them go through. And that's how they sent us through in Cancun that very first time that all 4 of us landed. We almost nearly get sent back to. But because I had return tickets, I had everything properly done that first time. But I told them I work online. I'm just here for, to explore and see if we like Mexico. We want to explore different parts of Mexico. I told them all of that. But that 3-day Airbnb booking was a red flag for them, and it took them a while for them to kind of talk about it amongst themselves, and then they let us through. So after that now, when I left and come back and leave and come back, nobody not ask me no question. They're just looking at my passport. She said, I have a visa already. I said, all right, you go on through, you're good. But anyways, that is my traumatizing story of having to be on this side of having my mom sent back, like denied entry into our country. And I beat up myself so bad because I'm thinking that all of this is my fault, and if I had just done this or done that or make sure this or but my mom is a fighter, as I said, and she's going to find a positive spin in it. And as she says, the Lord is redirecting us. I've been hemming and hawing if I want to leave Mexico. Here is the nudge. She was saying that she's coming back to Mexico, giving up on certain dreams that she has had for being in Jamaica. And she's looking at it like, no, Father gotta redirect you and say, go back to Jamaica. Me have a plan for you at Jamaica. Go back and execute the plan when me give you. So it's a hard lesson to learn sometimes, but sometimes when we get the plans and we don't execute them, we have to get just a little to say, yeah man, me did give you one plan and you never executed, but me still want to do that plan, yeah, so I can put a little fire under your rump and say, execute that plan when me did give you. It definitely looks like that's what is happening here. Because I've even been wondering if I have any regrets of getting a 4-year residency, because I'm still a resident of Mexico for 4 years, unless them decide, you know, everything is up in the air. It's so funny to me that, because as someone who has legal residency status, it's still so funny to me that at any point in time they can be like, nah, go back home. It's just like, it's crazy to me. And so me, no one better than my yard. I absolutely love being a Jamaican. It's not easy and it has its challenges, but I cannot wait to put my toes in the sand and sip a white rum and something. Yes, I can smell the sea breeze now and feel the sun on my skin. Anyway, so that's why you're going to see a shift in the content on the channel, because we are packing up and we are getting ready to move. As I said, you know, I felt it. Didn't I say it? I said November was going to be big and we're going to have some good times over here. Well, it started out shaky, but my birthday is still coming up and we are planning a little trip, just a little rendezvous before we head back to Jamaica to see if I can salvage it and have some fun for my birthday. So stay tuned and let's see what's to come. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. My name is Monique and we're back to traveling. This is the Traveling Jamaican. I'll see you in the next one.